Do not, for the love of God, keep scrolling or click to another video. The video that you clicked on is about to come on, but the reason that I'm posting this video before that is because I have re-uploaded these videos to a new channel and I need to add a little bit more content to the video, so I'm not uploading the same video on YouTube. So thank you for watching. Your video is coming shortly and I cannot wait for you to watch this video. I hope you get so much out of it and I'll see you in the next video. On today's episode of the Teacher Tea, we are talking all about the pros and cons of teaching. If you are a brand new teacher, listen up. If you are in school to be a teacher, listen up. If you think you want to go to school to be a teacher, you need to watch this video and listen up. I want to just talk all about the good things and the bad things with teaching. If you are in school to be a teacher, I'm going to be real honest with you. In my opinion, they never taught me, or they don't teach you how difficult teaching actually is. So in school, it's kind of like they paint this wonderful picture. You make lesson plans. In my case, you learn how to write IEPs, and it's all done in a perfect world. So, like in a perfect world, what would your lesson plan look like? What would this look like? What would that look like? And yeah, you'll take classes like behavior management. For me, I took like sped law classes, but it wasn't like this is how it really fucking is. And excuse my language. It was more like just like painting you a wonderful picture of what teaching is going to be like. You're going to inspire kids. You're going to help families. You're going to learn how to manage behaviors and make a difference and change the world. And yes, it can be like that, but also it can be really fucking hard. So I'm so sorry, but I'm just being so blunt today. I'm going to start off with the cons because I want to leave you with something positive. This video is in no way being made to persuade you not to teach or persuade you to teach. I'm just giving you the real facts of what I've experienced as a teacher. The cons, the first one, obviously the pay. The pay is low and it sucks. And I don't know when it's going to change. I don't know if it will ever change. And it's just the way it is. As a teacher, you're really just not going to make that much money starting off, at least. And a lot of people don't get into teaching for the money. So if the pay doesn't really matter to you, go for it. After several years, the pay really starts to, I don't know, bother me because I feel like I'm working my ass off to try to make a difference and I should be making more money. Number two, the stress. You're going to have stress with any type of job, but the stress of teaching, in my opinion, is just different. It's different than an office job. It's different than online, working remotely, depending on what your job is. Okay. So, like, I'm thinking of just kind of like basic level entry jobs. The stress of teaching is like no other, especially in the special ed world. For me, the stress of being in the special ed world has been really high for my whole teaching career. I've been able to learn how to manage it, but just know going into this job, it's not going to be the happy go lucky, sometimes teachers that you see online. It's a pretty stressful job. The education of children is in your hands and you have to figure out how to teach them very quickly. And it can be really stressful early on and even later on in your teaching career. So a con for me is the overstimulation. I am constantly feeling like I'm overstimulated at work, and that unfortunately drains me and then leaves me drained when I come home to be with my family. And that is a con for me because I want to be able to give 1,000% of my energy to my family and to my job. And I can't do that. So the overstimulation at work with the constant like questions, and you've got to meet with students and teachers and parents and all kinds of, it's just constant. And the amount of time that you're able to kind of sit and like take a break is very little. So that is, in my opinion, a con. The extra things asked of employees is something that I don't really enjoy. So, like working gate duties and, staying after to host clubs and doing all these kind of things. I coached softball for 10 years. I absolutely loved it. I put in my time, I put in my dues, and I was really gung ho and on fire about it when I first started teaching. But now, as the years go on, it's like I need my time. I've given a lot of my time, and I just feel like the extra like bus duties and things like that are, it's hard to, you got to put on like several different hats at school. And that to me is just like, instead of being able to go to work and like do your job, you've got to go to work, do all these little jobs before or after school, and then also do like really good at your job. So one thing that was huge for me, especially in a self-contained classroom, is not being able to get everything that needs to be prepared and done at school done at school. So meaning like lesson plans that need to be prepared, IEPs that need to be written, data that needs to be collected and then written on for a progress report. all of that stuff. Like, one thing that is like really burnt me out throughout the last years is not being able to actually get that stuff done at school, and not structuring the schedule around like teachers being able to get their work done while they're physically at work. And the horrible thing is that you have to work on the weekends and after school. And like that's just cuts into your work life balance, and you end up getting drained and just burnout. So that's been a really big one for me, especially the last 5 years. Not so much this year because my position is different, but the last 5 years, it was a lot. And then, of course, my first few years of teaching, you're working all the time because you don't know what you're doing. For sped teachers specifically, like the stress of writing the IEPs, which is a law binding document, and then making sure everything is implemented to a T, making sure your team knows, hi Louie, making sure your team knows how to implement everything, and making sure that that is followed and they know to follow that. And that to me just adds an extra layer of stress on top of everything else. But I asked for it. I know I asked for it, but it just is what it is. Dealing with angry parents as a sped teacher, I've had many a meeting where parents have been really angry and the meetings last for several hours and you sit there and get yelled at the entire time. Dealing with angry parents has been a tough one. I feel like a lot has changed since COVID. People have changed since COVID, and parents have definitely changed since COVID. And I feel like it's, for a time it felt like it was getting worse for me. But I know there are lots of I know that there are lots of teachers who deal with like angry parents and things like that, and it's just adds an extra layer of stress, which I've already mentioned, to the job. Two more things: student behavior. So student behavior, I feel like since COVID has increasingly got worse, and teachers having to manage that instead of being able to teach their content has been something that teachers have struggled with for a while. That's definitely a con. If you're good with behavior management, though, this may not be a con, because building relationships with students and really showing them that you care about them and building their trust is really going to help and go a long way with that. And then the last one is when you're sick, like you can't just call in and take a sick day. I mean, you could, but you're leaving your team absolutely stranded and your kids absolutely stranded. So you have to, work extra to make emergency sub plans, or as you're sick, write up plans or write up your schedule to make sure someone can actually go in and follow them. And a lot of schools try to make that as easy as possible, but it's still like not picture perfect. And it's not picture perfect for anybody who has to ever call out sick, but for teachers, it's like you can't just be like, oh, I'm sick, I need to stay home for the next 2 days until I feel better. It's like, oh, I'm sick. Who the heck is going to cover my class? What is the school going to do? That adds an extra layer of stress for you. And the guilt that you feel when you're sick is real and adds an extra layer of stress for the school. So it kind of sucks. Okay, the pros. And I am almost late for work, so I need to go. Okay, obviously you get breaks and summers off. That time off is crucial. We're about to be on Christmas break and I cannot wait. I feel like my best version of myself when I'm on break and I love it. Um, working with the kids. Working with the kids has always been the reason that I keep coming back to this job. And I love working with children. I love, especially like my last job, I loved my position there. That was like my dream job. And just working with the kids has always been that top pro for me. It is a fulfilling career when you feel like you're helping children and you're making a difference. It is very rewarding and very fulfilling. I will definitely say that the amount of times that I felt rewarded and fulfilled from this career have been a lot. And I feel like that's kind of kept me in the game for a really long time. I have met a lot of wonderful teachers and people and parents along the way. Some will be lifelong friends. Some you meet for a little bit of a season who bring a lot of joy into your life. Not everybody's perfect at every single school. So there are some teachers that experience like toxic work environments, but regardless, like you're still going to meet wonderful people no matter what school you're at. And that is my last pro. If you are a brand new teacher, if you're going into school to be a teacher, if you're thinking about being a teacher, if you're trying to switch your career to be a teacher, I just wanted to put this video out because a lot of the pros and cons have been on my mind lately. I'm kind of like actively trying to change careers, and I love teaching, but the rewarding and the fulfilling part of it right now is like, for a while it has been kind of sucking the life out of me. But I really just wanted to put this information out and this video out because this is everything that I've experienced in the last 9 years teaching. I'm sure I left a couple things off, but you get the gist, you get the idea of the video. Comment down below the pros and cons of your teaching experience and your teaching career, and I'll see you in the next video.